Vaibio. Yeah, last night was a big crowd. Every Sunday it's like that now. Need a new temple. Anyway, there'll be more people in the morning program today, or the house will be cleaned. Tomorrow, we will see. Oh, we won't see. I'll be traveling. When the cat's away, the mice will go. Right? The cats. So, let's start. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari. Gopijana Malaba Girivardhari. Gopijana Malaba Girivardhari. Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yasodanandana Brajajana Randana. Yasodanandana Brajajana Randana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava kunda vihaguti. Jai Om Vishnupad. Paramahansa Paravatakacharya, also Teta Satashi Shimad. His Divine Grace Sabaya Chalanana Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ramo Nityananda Shidwaita Gadadha Shivasati Guru Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radhakrishna Gopikopanath Sayam Kunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavanam Ki Jai Maturadam Ki Jai Jagannath Swami Ki Jai Yamunamai Ki Jai Shrimati Lasi Devi Ki Jai Samveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pujani Nivashesha Shunyavadi Pascha Cha Deja Tarani. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 45th chapter, text 24. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Evaṁ Santvaya Bhagavan Nandhang Sa Rajam Achuta Vaso Alankara Kupyadhyayar Arhayam Asa Saduram Evam Santvaya Bhagavan Nandam Sabrajamachuta Vasolankara Kupyajayar Arhayam Asasadaram Evam Santvaya Bhagavan Nandam Savrajamachuta Vasolankara Kupyajayar Arhayam Asasadaram Evam Santvaya Bhagavan Nandam Savrajamachuta Vasolankara Kupyajayar Arhayam Asasadaram. Okay. ladies. All right. Evam, in this manner, Santvaya, consoling, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Nandam, King Nanda, Savrajam, together with the other men of Braja, Achyuta, the infallible Lord, Vasa, with clothing, Alankara, jewelry, Kupya, vessels made of metals other than gold or silver, Ajay, and so on, Arhayam, Asa, he honored them. Sa'adaram, respectfully. So translation. Thus consoling Ananda Maharaj and the other men of Braja, the infallible Supreme Lord respectfully honored them with gifts of clothing, jewelry, household utensils, and so on. So you can repeat. Thus consoling Nanda Maharaj and the other men of Braja, the infallible Supreme Lord respectfully honored them with gifts of clothing, jewelry, household utensils, and so on. So there's no purport by the servants of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. So there are commentaries by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Srila Jiva Goswami, so we'll read them. First, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Krishna consoled Nanda. If I remain in Mathura a few days longer, you should not worry. My mind is always in Braja, and I stay here only because of their request. He worshipped Nanda along with the other inhabitants of Braja with vessels made of bell metal, kupya, as well as other objects, and Jiva Goswami comments. He was able to console Nanda because he was able to do anything Bhagavan. As a son, he would not fail to fulfill his promise, Achyuta. He worshipped them with gifts to instill faith in his promise. Krishna also consoled all those who accompanied him and honored them with gifts. He also sent messages of consolation to Yashoda and others who stayed in Braja and sent them gifts such as bell metal utensils, kupya for milking the cows. The word adya indicates excellent vehicles and other things, though Braja already had an abundance of wealth. They valued these gifts because they were given out of affection, like flowers and sandalwood offered out of affection. He worshipped Nanda and others respectfully, Sadaram, or he honored Nanda, who was attentive, Sadaram, to what he said and what he offered, who was pleased with the offerings because of the affection. He brought Vasudeva, Ugrasena, and others, and then had them do the worship. By proximity, he was the cause of the worship. Okay. So again, the verse. Evam santvai bhagavan nandam saprajam achyuta Vasolankara Kupyadjair Aryayama Sasadaram. So Om Ganat Tivanandasha Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmiditam Yena Tasmai Shi Gurave Namaha. So, in order to understand really internally what's going on with Nanda Maharaj and Krishna and the other residents of Vrindavan, who are ready to go back to Vrindavan, I'm going to read a little bit, an excerpt from the Gopal Champu Uttara Khanda, chapter 6, which really gets into the details about this whole interaction. There's quite a bit of information here. Of course, we do understand, before I start reading it, that Krishna will go back to Vrindavan, actually, immediately. As we were hearing yesterday, is aprakrita manifestation. So there's the prakrita manifestation, aprakrita. So aprakrita means the things you cannot see with your eyes. And prakriti means the things you can see with your eyes. So anyway, so Krishna does go back to Vrindavan. Not only does he go back to Vrindavan, he never even left Vrindavan. And not only did Nanda Maharaj go back to Vrindavan eventually, he didn't leave Vrindavan. None of them left Vrindavan. And actually, even Srila Prabhupada didn't leave Vrindavan. Because, as we know, where your heart is, that's where you are. And even Nanda Maharaj's presence is always there in Vrindavan, and Prabhupada's presence is always there in Vrindavan. Like if you go to either Krishna Balaram Mandir or to the Radha Damodar temple in Vrindavan, and you go to where Prabhupada's rooms are, then Prabhupada's presence is there in Vrindavan. Or even the Vamshi Gopal temple, Prabhupada's presence is there. So Krishna's presence, so in other words, and also because Prabhupada was always conscious of Vrindavan, Prabhupada never left Vrindavan either. So in every sense, Prabhupada was not in this material world. Although you saw him within the material world, you know, those of us who had material eyes like me, were able to see Prabhupada, but still, Prabhupada was not here in this world. It's amazing. And so that's a pure devotee. And their mind is Vrindavan. And anyway, even in this material world, wherever your mind is, that's where you are. Like right now, if you were thinking of Hawaii or the beach somewhere, that's where you are. Isn't it? You're right at that place. And there's no need to travel, actually, because you can be, because everything's based on the mind. I mean, that's another point. And I'm not talking about the brain, and I'm not talking about the body either. Just like I've seen with two of my dear godbrothers, both Jayapataka Maharaj and Gopal Krishna Maharaj, that even though their body is in such a state that, any ordinary person would be in a hospital bed with IV things running out of their arms and other parts of their body. I mean, just like I was just thinking about this morning about Gopal Krishna Maharaj, who some of you were disciples of, how, he had this heart problem, heart surgery, and then a few days later he's on the altar doing Mangalarti. And you're going, oh my God. Oh my God. Isn't it? It's amazing. A few days later, because I remember going to GBC meetings, and every morning, when's Mangalarti, because I go to Mangalarti, and I'm usually not on the altar, because the deities don't want me on the altar. But anyway, that's another issue. Every morning, uh, he's there doing arti when he's in a particular place. Wow. And that's because the mind is in Vrindavan. The mind is actually absorbed in Krishna and Radharani. And then, of course, the Jayapataka Maharaj, I was just speaking to some friends in Atlanta yesterday. They had the Panihati Festival in Atlanta. I was speaking to Balabhadra and some other devotees. And I said, did Jayapataka Maharaj come? He said, yeah, he's there. He's participating and everything like that. I said, oh, my God. And he had, He had transplanted liver, transplanted everything, everything big transplanted. So anyway, and, stroke, so many things. It's just determination. And that determination is not there because, someone just grits their teeth. You understand? That's another type of determination. Gritting the teeth, or biting the bullet, as they may say. But the determination of these particular devotees is out of love. And they're happy. Usually a Mayavadi, or someone who just wants to get liberated, engages in austerities, they become miserable and angry and nasty. If you talk to them, they just look at their faces. They're dry. Isn't it? Try to get them to come to Mangalarti. It's just like, huh? But Krishna consciousness, if one's mind is absorbed in Vrindavan, what does it mean to be absorbed in Vrindavan? Be absorbed in serving. Just like you see with Jayapataka Maharaj and Gopal Krishna Maharaj, they're serving. They're not just there enjoying, as one devotee said, he said, I'm a nectar hound. It's not they're not like that. They're serving. He's come to New Panihati, that's Atlanta, to serve. And Gopal Krishna Maharaj is on the altar to serve. And he even takes care of his own deities every day, isn't it? He has several deities, Sheilas and other things in his room. And he personally takes care of them. So he's there to serve. And it's just, and they're happy. You can see in there, I look at people's faces and I can see whether they're happy or not. And, sometimes, even look at the pictures of devotees of the morning program. But Krishna consciousness is filled with such nectar. I mean, you can enter Vrindavan right now. It's not that you buy a plane ticket. I mean, that you could do also. But you can go to the physical location of Vrindavan and not be in Vrindavan. Or you can go to the most hellish planet and be in Vrindavan. So it depends on where the mind is. So anyway, getting back to the point is that Krishna is always in Vrindavan, Prabhupada's always in Vrindavan, and these great devotees who I mentioned before, they're also in Vrindavan and Mayapur. I'm sure that Jayapataka Maharaj is always in Mayapur. He brings Mayapur with him wherever he goes, isn't it? I mean, see, it's just wonderful. I was thinking last night, what's going to happen in the future of our movement when all these great devotees are gone? Hopefully there's some succession. Succession means the future. Because I'm just looking at all these great devotees I get the opportunity to associate with. It's an important expression. Rather than have to associate with, get the opportunity to associate with. One should think like that. And just think what's going to happen in the future of our movement. So anyway, so great devotees, they're always in Vrindavan. And Nanda Maharaj never left Vrindavan. And the other devotees mentioned here, like Sridham, we're going to hear about in a second, never left Vrindavan. And Madhu Mangal certainly never leaves Vrindavan. Except when he goes to Mayapur. It's just like we were hearing the other day about Kusumasava. That's actually Madhu Mangal. And Krishna was actually, and he appeared as Kolavechar Sridhar. Remember? We heard about that. And so Krishna was actually getting even with him for all of his teasing that he did. I was thinking like that, all the teasing that Madhu Mangal did with Krishna got him in trouble so many times, saying to Yashoda Mai that Krishna was delayed because he was looking at the girls. And Krishna just thinking, why does this fool shut up? So Krishna said, I'm going to get even with him. So in the Mayapur pastimes, he's teasing him. And not poor, and he's in ecstasy. Kolavechar Sridhar is just being, oh my God, what is this Brahmin boy doing to me? So anyway, so Mayapur, Vrindavan, one's heart always has to be there. And then by reading about these pastimes and following strictly a Krishna conscious process, then Kevalananda Kanda, one becomes happy and one's heart is always there. Although it's not manifest, not prakrita, that we're manifest in Vrindavan, externally, it's aprakata. We can all be aprakata in Vrindavan. And so basically Krishna went back to Vrindavan and we never left Vrindavan. That's the statement, Vrindavan Purichaj, and that Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. So let me read this part from the Gopal Champa. It's pretty amazing dealing with these internal moods of the devotees. So, of course, this is a narration given by these two devotees, Snigdha Kanta and Madhu Kanta. So Snigdha Kanta asks, I'm right in the middle, text 40 in this particular chapter, asked with excitement, so what did the respected Nanda do? So this is like getting to the time when Krishna presented all these presents. Of course, they rather have Krishna than presents. But still, because the presents represented Krishna, the presents were worshipable. That's another point I wanted to make, that when you get something from the spiritual master, like the beads or something like that, or a present, sometimes I gave Mahamantra a present before he left. These presents are worshipable. Like Shrutakirti talks about the times that he was planning to take Prabhupada's chadar and give another chadar. You hear all these stories, devotees. Sometimes they gave Prabhupada something, he gave Prabhupada his watch, thinking they would get another watch, and Prabhupada didn't give it to him. And then he kept looking at it. Prabhupada said, oh, you wanted the watch, something like that. Or there was another story about Prabhupada's Brahman thread, where Prabhupada said, he was thinking, when Prabhupada changes his Brahman thread, I'm going to take his old Brahman thread. And then Prabhupada somehow knew about that and told him, just burn it or bury it. Cut it to pieces. So one time, following Prabhupada's directions, or Prabhupada cut it into pieces, and then he just rejoined the pieces. So he would have Prabhupada's Brahman thread. So anyway, so all these different things that Krishna is giving are not simply just material objects. They're ways to remember Krishna and representations of Krishna, just like we have the remnants of the deities that we get, or clothes, or the deity clothes, or remnants of great personalities. So Snigdha Kanta asked with excitement, what did the respected Nanda do? And then, though not pleased with his logical words, thinking they were correct, he beat his forehead, and spoke, unclearly with tears. He was going like this. This is really descriptive here. Your mother will be opposed. How will I make her understand? Krishna said, I will inform her with great respect through dear friends. Saying this, he wrote a letter in his own hand and gave it to Sridham. Sridham, observing Nanda's obedience and the misery expressed in the introductory portion of the letter, put the letter down and spoke with a choked voice what should be spoken. Fearing trouble from the demons, we will not go there. But by the strength of the service of your father, I will go in the morning with my brother. So what this is like a conflict situation. fearing I will not go there, but by the strength of the service of your father, I will go in the morning with my brother. So Krishna was vacillating. So, sometimes we're making a decision like that. And, should I do that or should I not do that? It's called approach avoidance. There's a downside to each, isn't it, decision that you make. There's an upside and a downside. And you just go back and forth. If I do this, that'll happen. If I do that, that'll happen. No, I should do that. No, I should do that. And so we go back and forth, and Krishna's basically confused here under Yogamaya. The letter is as follows. And this is really interesting because this refers also to Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I'll just give a little hint. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to his mother, every day, sent a message to his mother that every day I'm coming there to eat, right? And sometimes you make the offering and I eat it and there's nothing left on the altar and you think, oh, maybe I didn't make the offering. And then you make the offering again. So here Krishna is stating the same thing in his relationship with Yashodamaya. On the first day there is rice with milk. On the second day there is roti with ghee. The next day there is sweets soaked with sweet milk. On another days there are various foods. O mother, you feed me all these foods in the large room and serve me also. Do you not think this is a dream or a temporary appearance, understanding that it is actual? So in other words, just like when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left Navadvip, Sachimata was making all these offerings, and also, of course, Vishnu Priya, too, was making all these offerings in the same way Yashodamaya was making all these offerings to Krishna, and Krishna was coming and eating them, and some of them would disappear from time to time. And she was thinking, what's happening? But Krishna was coming to eat every day in his aprakrita manifestation. In other words, she didn't see him. O mother, as long as you do not eat, I shall not eat. If I become aware that I've eaten, my heart will quickly dry up. I will go to Braj and see my mother and others like her. I will come after killing the enemies. It will not be long. I am eager to kill the enemies with my show of strength. So Krishna is eager to kill the enemies because that way he can go back. He's not so much interested in the enemies. I just got to get this out of the way. Just like sometimes you get something out of the way that's not so important, so you can do something that you really like to do, like eating the crust of a sandwich, so you can eat the inside, or like one of these Oreo cookies. You want to get the cream filling. So cream filling is actually the relationship with the devotees in Braja. Hearing this, the messenger with tears in his eyes said, truly, Yashoda speaks of your present eating with tears in her eyes as if in a dream. She conceals the fact that she does not eat, fearing that will cause you suffering. Wow. That should be if she does not eat, it will cause you suffering. When the others heard this, they spoke in astonishment. Nanda spoke with tears in his eyes. How will your friends who depend on your love maintain their lives? Krishna said, like my mother, all my dear friends can attain me by seeing, but because of great Vatsalya as a mother, she will see me as if in a dream. This will not be so for my friends filled with pranaya, that's friendly affection. The friends actually see Krishna, have to see Krishna, but Yashodamaya is able to connect with Krishna even in her dream and other ways, even though he's not externally present, his prakriti manifestation. Nanda Maharaj said, like your friends, will the cows be able to directly hear you? Krishna said, so he's even interested about the cows. The cows, of course, the cows experience so much separation. Krishna said, though seeing my spurti will relieve the cows of suffering, I will use another means in order to produce external awareness. A spurti is like a special manifestation, realization of vision. That's actually, the spurti is described in the Jaiva Dharma by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, where this devotee, the sannyasi Thakur, one day gets this, by the mercy of his spiritual master, he gets this vision, which is called the spurti, of what Mayapur was like when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was present. He looks out and he sees Lord Chaitanya and all the temples and all the devotees and everything like that. Or Bhaktivinoda Thakur had a spurti of what devotees say, the Temple of Vedic Planetarium, devotees from all over the world chanting Jai Satchinanda and Jai Satchinanda. But Krishna here says, in addition to the spurti, I will use another means in order to produce external awareness. The cows operate mainly by smell and sound. They also discern by form. This is so interesting. Stoka Krishna should wrap himself in my cloth laden with fragrance and play the flute. So Stoka Krishna should actually make believe he's Krishna and play the flute. Subal should dress in Balaram's blue cloth and take his horn. They should sit amongst the cows. All the boys with qualities like mine will substitute for Stoka Krishna and Subal. The fortunate animals and trees of the forest, worshipped by all, will see my spurti. Thus everything will be adjusted. So in other words, otherwise the cows wouldn't be able to eat their grass, they wouldn't be able to take care of their children, wouldn't be able to do anything if they didn't feel the presence of Krishna there. Seeing his servants, the Shudras, Abhiras, means the low-class people, and the young boys without discriminating power, and Nanda standing silently, Krishna with tears in his eyes said, since they are all affectionate like my friends or my father and the elders, they will attain service following the elders and be praiseworthy. In other words, by service, they will connect with me. That's what Krishna is saying indirectly. He spoke to Madhu Mangal with affection. Oh, you also go. As my representative, since I have unexpectedly left, serve Purnamasi for my auspiciousness and produce full happiness as before. With that display of affection, he gave Stoka, Krishna, and Subal, who were endowed with his own qualities, his clothing filled with the scent of his limbs, and decorated them properly with his ornaments. So they would imitate Krishna and pacify the residents of Vrindavan. Honoring his servants suitably, he informed the elders. So these are some of the presents that Krishna gave. To further elaboration on this particular verse. Taking their permission, he remained there. Bringing in the Brahmins of Mathura who were standing outside the meeting, he sent them to inform the Yadus. Then Nanda and the others went to Braja. Vasudeva, Ugrasen, and others arrived there with great happiness. Arriving, Krishna worshipped them with offerings of attractive clothing, and following after them, entered the town while chatting with them pleasantly. Krishna, who had previously refused the kingdom, gave the people of Braja items they had brought as gifts and which had been taken by Kamsa. This is the specific verse, expressed in a different way, and then retrieved, except for items made of base metal. He feared his agitation because of closeness to them. Taking leave of Nanda and the elders, feeling an indescribable sensation spreading throughout his mind, he returned to the city. Balaram, however, followed them for a great distance. Though stunned within, Nanda spoke to Balaram out of good training like a liberated soul. "O child, dear to my son, now being all alone, our life heirs have given up all mental powers. Therefore, follow your brother." Fearing his separation from Krishna would be a cause of further suffering, Balaram took leave of everyone with determination, and on meeting his brother, sought out a solitary spot. This is really heart-rending. They, Krishna and Balaram, embraced each other and wept together. What more can be described? So Krishna and Balaram are just like feeling such separation from the residents of Vrindavan, not being able to go back to Vrindavan, having to fight all these demons. They just like embraced each other and started weeping, and the tears were flowing from their eyes, and they were just rolling on the ground, actually. Remembering Krishna, Balaram, Nanda, and the cowards, Sri Ram and his friends and all the attendants, after Kamsa was killed and the people of Braj returned home. My mind now gives up everything because of the pain, fearing further separation. After saying this, understanding the pain of Nanda and others, he again spoke, "Oh, Nanda." So this is actually a narration. This is in the context of a narration that Snigdhakanta and Madhukanta are giving to Radha and Krishna about the pastimes that occurred on the earth planet. "Oh, Nanda, Krishna, who increased your desires strongly during earthly pastimes, personally plays on your lap." So, Nanda's there watching this narration. You understand? This is the context of the whole thing. Placing his head at Nanda's feet, Krishna said with regret, "Ah, this creature talks nonsense and cheats his father," talking about himself. "You should forgive my great offense. Though one's limb may give up pain, no one desires to give up that limb." So, this is actually what's happening after the narration. Okay. Nanda, his hair standing on end, embraced his son. Everyone's hair stood on end out of deep bliss. After finishing the morning recitation, Madhukanta spoke to Radha's gathering near Krishna's feet in the evening. All the obstacles in coming to Braj manifested by his Leela Shakti should be considered to be filled with his shame, which was previously mentioned. Krishna, revealing his shame later, engaged Subal, who came from Mathura, with attractive words for his beloved gopis. "Yes, I gave you up, whose life heirs follow after me, left your bodies without a trace. I have no legitimacy. Oh, friends, hear what I have to say. Your incomparable love, which breaks all conventions, shames me. It makes me hide this body, lacking such love as yours, but I'm never far away." And actually, there's quite a bit more here. We don't have time to read the rest of it. But if you have time to read the rest of this particular chapter, it's really interesting. Or listen to the narration. I did this chapter. I think it's on ISKCON Desire Tree, this particular chapter, chapter 6 in the Uttarakhanda of the Gopal Champu. So any quick questions? We got about 1 minute, half a minute left. Yeah. Oh, Prabhupada was there? Oh, the Vyasa-san. Yeah. 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 Yeah, it's amazing. Amazing association. Yeah, to be with Prabhupada. Actually, the first time I met Prabhupada, I was just like wet behind the ears, so to speak. And it was like, I forgot that I was in the material world just by being in Prabhupada's presence. Even though hadn't even heard the word Vrindavan before, by being with Prabhupada, that I was in Vrindavan. I didn't realize I was in Vrindavan. I just thought, I was having some sort of like trip. You understand what I mean by trip. Anyways. Yeah.
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvandam Maravindanalaya Taksham Varhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Anganiyasa Sakale Priya Priti Manti Vasyanti Panti Kayanti Chiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam
Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Mothalaya Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Chidamane Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Chidamane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacha Renegi Nirvishesha Shunyavani Sachate Sacharane Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaurmata Vrindara Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaurmata Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Rama Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Rama Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Jai Om Vishnupad.
Bhavamahadavagni Nirvana Kairavya Chandrika Pitaranam Vidyavadu Armi Jayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Mahudani Dasarva Shaktis Tatrapitani Amita Smarane Nakala Etadrishita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishami Hajjani Nanuraga Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Suishuna Amani Namana Dena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Va Jagadisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhaktir Hoita Kitvai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishameva Vambudao Kripayata Vapada Pankas Tita Duli Sajashim Vichintaya Nayanam Galadar Shatayam Varanam Gadgada Hridaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tavanama Grahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Namishena Chakshusha Pravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlisha Vapadam Ratam Manastumam Adarshanam Marma Hatakarotuva Yatatatava Vidato Lampato Mat Prananatastusa Eva Napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen to the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Oh, my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.